what I'm trying to get at is people are getting on this huge plane and they're stopping to ask these flight attendants that, how they're stationed at each like bathroom, kitchen area.
Mm-hmm.
And these people are stopping like, where's my seat? Like,
Okay.
and I'm like, I'm sitting there cause I have my wife and my 3-year-old, and I'm like, we just want to get to our spot and get
Yeah.
situated, get our stuff in the overhead,
Yeah.
and people are like jammed in the aisles. Like, I need you to direct me to my seat. It's like, can you count? It goes from row, whatever starts at 8 to it was like 82 or something. I don't know. I'm just
Uh-huh.
big numbers, but
Yeah.
it goes up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I know.
like,
And you could clearly observe it going up,
yeah.
like, oh, the
So
numbers are increasing
that
as I walk
that
down
to
this
me
aisle.
is
Yeah.
airline etiquette. That's
Yeah.
like, just understand that like there's no complex system on there of numbers and letters that you don't already know
Uh-huh.
if you're literate,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
And then getting off the plane is just always going to be an issue for me because it just takes forever, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody is doing things like, it seems like people are doing things way slower. Like, they're not getting up and getting their stuff out of the overhead bin
Mm-hmm.
before we've started moving.
Yeah.
So like, my big thing is, if you can get in the aisle, everybody can get up. So
Right.
everybody should be getting their bags out of the aisle, out of the overhead bins,
Uh-huh.
and putting it down in front of you if possible. Like, and it's
Yeah.
rare that you wouldn't be able to do that. And then that way, when the doors open, everybody's got their stuff,
Yeah.
and you can get your backpack from underneath the seat in front of you or whatever, and you're gone.
Yeah.
So I think the
So
biggest,
what I normally do for that is I wait till the line is cleared up to about 5 rows ahead of me. When I see that it's gotten
yeah,
close,
totally.
then I like, okay, now time to get up. I get my stuff out. So as soon as the
But you
people
don't
are
wait
cleared out,
until
yes,
that's
exactly.
what I'm talking about. Like, 5
Yeah.
rows is fine. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, when you wait until it's your turn, you're like, oh, I better get up and get my stuff.
I
Now
know.
you're
It's like,
adding a minute or
right.
two to each. So that's why
Yep.
it's taken an extra 45 minutes for the person at the very end of the plane to get off the
Yes.
plane, because
Uh-huh.
everybody's taking an extra amount of time.
Right.
And so I'm
Right.
like, and then when it comes to customs and flight connections, that 30 45 minutes is valuable. And that's the
Right.
other thing that's weird, is that I'll never understand why they don't let people off, and just the flight attendant can come grab a person and say, hey, you're going to go to the front of the plane because you have a connection. We realize that you're running behind.
Yeah.
Get them to the front of the plane so they can get off first. They never do that, which is really strange. And the
or
international,
the connections need to be spread out a little bit more. We had
Yeah.
a connecting flight when we were going to Denver, because we went up to Seattle first, and it was a 2-hour window. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, that's enough time.
Yeah.
No.
Other side of the airport.
Our Portland flight was delayed. So getting to Seattle, we were 50 minutes late.
Yep.
Yes, we were on like the other side of SeaTac, and so we're like, oh, we got to get to whatever. And then on top of it, we hadn't eaten, so I was like, oh, maybe we can cruise by a restaurant and pick something up. Well, that line was crazy long.
Yeah, of course.
Now, if I was traveling by myself, I would have skipped. I'm like, well, I'm not eating today, and on to my next flight. But I've got 2 small kids; they need to eat. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. So, it would have been nicer if the connecting flight was, a little bit spread out. Now, on the flip side, let's say everything was on time, and then I'm stuck at that airport for an extra hour or two because they spread. So it's always grass is greener on the other side. But with the conditions of flights these days, post-pandemic, I think, with flights being canceled all the time and flights being delayed all the time, things just aren't as efficient as they used to be, for, good reason. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you what the expectations are. And I think the scheduling needs to probably be adjusted. And a lot for those. I mean, what's inevitably going to happen? It happened to us on our connecting flight. We had a friend that we actually got to see in the Denver airport. They had a major delay at their connecting flight. It's like, oh, this is happening all the time now. And people are missing their flights left and right.